Good morning, you're welcome to the Breakfast on Plus TV Africa. My name is Rume Paulson. It's Monday, the 10th of February 2025, and in fact, today is known as International Epilepsy Day. It's a day that is to create awareness, shine a light on people who are living with epilepsy and the challenges that they face, and it's always celebrated the second Monday in February. On today's breakfast show, we'll be looking at several hot topics, one of which is Serap's sustainable over 167 billion naira unexecuted projects. Much later in the show, we'll be discussing education, where we're analyzing the proposed 12-year educational model. We'll also be taking stories that made it to the front pages of our national dailies and top trending stories. But first, let's see our quote of the day. And our quote of the day says, if you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. And that's according to Dolly Parton. She's an American singer, songwriter, actress, and philanthropist, primarily known as a country musician. And she says this morning, if you don't like the road you're walking, start paving another one. So it's never too late. You cannot hop on a train that is going to a wrong destination and you're saying, oh, I'm already on this train, I might as well get to the end. No, you can always turn back. You can come off at the next stop. And that's just exactly what this quote is. If you don't like the road you're walking on, you can start paving another one. You can decide what you want for your life. If you want a better life, today is the day to make that decision. And that is the way you pave another road for yourself. There are people who make mistakes. There are people who their past sometimes might not be the best. But then when you have that paradigm shift in your mind and you say, no, I can do better. I can be better. And then you start paving another one for yourself. You start to, do certain things that would help you to become that better person. And with this quote, we're in February. I know most times a lot of people, when you just get into the year, the whole New Year resolution, my vision board, we do that. And before you know it, a few weeks in, you fall off the bandwagon. Even if you're falling off, you can still go back to it. So bring out your New Year resolution that you wrote in December or early January and start paving that road for yourself. If you do not like what you're working on or the kind of life that you have right now, you can decide to have a better one. And today is that day. All right, moving over to our top trending stories. The first one says, ex-INEC rec seeks fair hearing after dismissal. The former resident electoral commissioner for Adamawa State, Hudu Ari, has called for a fair hearing after his dismissal over alleged electoral offenses. Ari claimed he was not given the opportunity to present his case and accused the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, of rejecting his letters explaining his side. He also stated that the tribunal overseeing the case between Aisha Binani and Amadou Finitri refused to accept his evidence, despite his assertion that he had substantial proof. Ari emphasized that he had submitted documents, including what he claimed to be authentic result sheets, to support his position. He expressed frustration over being denied the chance to be heard, referencing, in quotes, the golden rule of natural justice, which asserts that everyone should be given an opportunity to defend themselves. Ari, who maintains his innocence, pointed to the refusal of INEC to collect his letters at the tribunal's rejection of his evidence as evidence of unfair treatment. The dismissed rec also alleged that INEC staff were compromised, beaten, and threatened during the 2023 elections. Despite facing media trials, Ari stood by his actions, declaring that he had no regrets and would act the same way again. He is currently consulting with family and friends on his next steps, and he boldly claimed that Binani had won the election against Fintiri. in the court of justice, of course, everybody needs to have a fair hearing. And in this case, because there were about 3 resident electoral commissioners that were dismissed. I think one was for obviously corruption, getting money, and another, in this case, declaring a winner that wasn't what people expected according to the result sheets. And 2023, a lot of states had their own fair share of it, but one thing that we loved was the fact that INEC was swinging into action with the tribunal courts, and offenders were being dismissed. But if a man is coming to say, you've not heard my side of the story, this is what happened and I deserve a fair hearing, I think it's just something that should be done because most times we're used to just cutting people off and cancel culture. That's the way we go. But in as much as when it's something that is as sensitive as election, we still need to give the man a fair hearing. So if he's saying that he has evidence, why not bring it? But I'm wondering, why did it come after he has been dismissed? I think you should have been able to approach the right people to say, okay, these are the evidences that I have, especially as at the time when the tribunal was sitting. These are things that happened. These are things I saw. That's the reason why I was able to declare this person a winner. If you put that in place, I'm not sure anybody would, dismiss you. But even because we know how Nigeria can be sometimes, if that was the case, then it's quite sad. It's unfortunate, and I think everybody just deserves a fair hearing if is a sensitive case as such as this. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, maybe he tries to appeal, because I think that should be the next step to take. At this time, he's consulting with friends and family to see what to do. But I think the next step should, be an appeal. File an appeal and go back to court if you are sure. But if you're not, please, this is where you have to take a back seat. Moving over to another top trending story. This says NDLEA arrests drug kingpins, seizes 125 heroin wraps. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested 2 drug kingpins who excreted a total of 125 wraps of heroin. Onyewonike Elochukwu Silvanus, 30, was apprehended at the Port Harcourt International Airport on February 2, 2025, using a fraudulent Sierra Leone passport. After ingesting illicit drugs, he excreted about 62 wraps of heroin weighing 1.348 kilograms. Silvanus admitted to fully engaging in drug trafficking after his business collapsed in 2017. The second suspect, 48-year-old James Chinonso, was arrested at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos on February 1, 2025, upon his return from Madagascar. A body scan revealed he had ingested drugs and he excreted about 63 wraps of heroin weighing 909 grams. Chinonso also turned to drug trafficking after his phone accessories business in Liberia failed. In addition to the arrest, the NDLEA seized significant drug shipments across the country, including synthetic cannabis and tramadol, and arrested several other suspects in operations from this. Well, it's just sad that this is where we are. And of course, the agency has vowed to continue the crackdown on drug syndicates nationwide. And I think this is the perfect time, because drug is an issue in Nigeria. In fact, it just seemed like a handshake. And the sad part of it all is that it is trickling down into our secondary school. So you're seeing teenagers whose brains are not even well formed yet already going into drugs. And that's because there are people like this who are bringing it into the country. You know something is illegal, but yet you decide that you want to dip your hand into it. I understand that a lot of people are talking about unemployment. And if you look at this story, one of them, his business has collapsed. The other one, not doing so well. But still, it doesn't matter. You can still do other things. There are people who sell pure water on the streets. There are people who open kiosks. You can still start something else. That's not the end, to life. But in this case now, you're giving up your rights, you're giving up your freedom for the next how many years that you're going to be in prison. All for what? We're living in a society whereby everybody just wants to get rich so quickly. Get rich quick scheme. Microwave, I want it right now. But that is not how life works. The truth is, there are always going to be ups and downs in life. And whatever you do determines your outcome. So if you're making a decision right now, is that decision that will determine what will happen in the next 10, 15 years? In this case, your decision obviously is to go into drugs. And of course, those next 10, 15 years will probably be in prison. But imagine if you started a business and you started nurturing it right now. That business has a chance to flourish over the next 10, 15 years. So which side do you want to be on? Unemployment cannot be the reason why people go into criminal activities. Most times we keep blaming the government, saying, I know it's okay to come here and berate the government sometimes and say, of course, you're not doing the best thing. You're not doing what is right for Nigerians. We understand that. But you as a person, you as a Nigerian, what kind of decision are you making for yourself? Are you going to go into terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, drugs, just because, drug trafficking in this case, just because you're trying to make ends meet and the government hasn't put, the necessary things in place for you? There's still other things that you can do for yourself. And right now, we've invaded Nigeria so much with these drugs that everybody can get it at any time. And this is where the NDLEA really, really need to make their work seen. Making sure that everybody is being intercepted. You're checking everywhere, the border controls, as you're coming into Nigeria from the airport, because these are even shipments. There are people who ship things in containers. And it's just not what we expect a country to be, because going to the social scene in Lagos, it's ridiculous. The amount, even the types of drugs that you see, you're spoiled for choice at this moment. But NDLEA, well done. We love the fact that you've been able to arrest these people. And I hope it's not a thing whereby, because a lot of times you hear of things like this, whereby you get sorted. Corruption. So yes, I was arrested. After a bit, I pay some certain money and then I'm freed again. And this person goes back into that same drug business. So it's a cycle, because they already love making such huge amounts of money. NDLEA, please continue doing your job and do it right. We don't want a situation whereby these people are freed after a while just because they've been able to grease some palms. All right, another top trending story says, policeman commits suicide in Niger. An assistant superintendent of police in Niger State, Shefiu Bawa, reportedly committed suicide on Sunday afternoon. The incident occurred in Kontagora local government area, where authorities revealed that his father, Usman Bawa, a resident of Rigasa area in Kontagora, reported the matter to the police command. Reports had it that Officer Bawa was found hanging from the ceiling when his father entered the room on Saturday afternoon and discovered his lifeless body. Police officers later arrived at the scene and transported his body to the general hospital, where he was confirmed dead. His remains were subsequently released to his family for burial in accordance with the Islamic rites. His lifeless body was taken to the General Hospital Kontagora, where a medical doctor confirmed his death. The corpse was released to the family for burial. According to Islamic rites, there is yet to be any statement on the reasons for ending his life. Our condolences to the family, the Bawa family. It's sad. I know Nigeria, kind of takes a toll on people, and we don't know the reasons for this man's, for his death. But regardless of whatever it is, suicide is never an option. That is you giving up on life. And you know how they say, when there's life, there's hope. So as long as you're still living, as long as you're still breathing, you can have a miracle. You can have a miracle today, you can have a miracle tomorrow, you can have a miracle whenever, but just keep going at it. Suicide, like I said, is never an option. And if you're someone out there who's even dealing with thoughts of this, please seek professional help. Speak to somebody. Even if you do not have money for therapy, speak to a family friend or loved one. No, it doesn't matter. Just unburden. It's okay to unburden. We are going through so much as a country. And imagine the family who has lost this person. Maybe that person was the breadwinner of the family. Maybe he was the person that made everyone laugh. It could have been anybody, because nobody would just want to lose a loved one. So it's quite sad that, this man, imagine someone even in the police force, having to kill himself, having to commit suicide for reasons best known to him. It's quite sad. And I hope that the Nigerian government is doing something, because we don't want a situation whereby many people are just giving up. I hear stories, I hear people speak, and they're just saying, I'm giving up on Nigeria. I don't think Nigeria is going to get better. It will get better. It might take some time, but let us all put our hands on the plow and hope that it will get better. Suicide, like I said, is never an option. If you need to speak to someone, please speak to somebody. And once again, our condolences go to the family, the Bauer family, who have just lost their son, their brother, their friend, whoever it was to them. All right, our final top trending story says, Ofodile Anulika, a woman who designed Nigeria's first military UAV. Lieutenant Nkedelim Anulika Ofodile, a trailblazing aerospace engineer, has made history by designing Nigeria's first indigenous military-grade unmanned aerial vehicle. That's the UAV. The Shagomi Tactical UAV, unveiled in 2018, the UAV was developed through collaboration between the Nigerian Air Force and the Portuguese firm UA Vision. It was designed for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance (ISR) missions, enhancing Nigeria's military capabilities. Ofodile expertise in avionics systems and control engineering played a vital role in the project's success. With a PhD in control engineering from the University of Leicester, her technical background made her an invaluable contributor to Nigeria's growing aerospace sector. The Shagumi project is seen as a milestone in the country's quest for technological self-reliance in military aviation. As a woman in a traditionally male-dominated field, Lieutenant Ofodile is breaking barriers and inspiring other women to pursue careers in STEM, that is, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Her achievements not only highlight Nigeria's technological advancement, but also position the country as a rising force in global defense innovation. Kudos to her. That is amazing, and as a woman, I'm so proud of her. In fact, as a Nigerian, I'm proud of her. This is what we love to hear, and we want people to be celebrated for things like this, for innovation, for technological advancement. Most times you see it as a male-dominated field, but what a man can do, a woman can do. It doesn't matter about your gender, as long as you put your mind into it. And in this case, she has been able to create something. This project, of course, is something that would help Nigeria, which is her country. And the honest truth is, we have so many talented people in Nigeria. Sometimes it's just the situation at hand, the circumstances that they find themselves in, that they're not able to project all of the amazing ideas that they have inside them. And if we have a country that is, championing things like this, or fanning the flames of people who have these bright ideas, that would be amazing. Because if you look at America, if you look at China, if you look at the UK, the things that they have, or the kind of ideas that they have, we also have them. They just have an enabling environment. Well, at least we're starting from somewhere. That is the beauty of this. A woman is breaking barriers here, creating something, and that would definitely help, the defense system in Nigeria, which is great, amazing, and we love to hear it. So kudos to her. We want more of this. Please, if you have an amazing idea out there, you can start developing it right now, especially if it's something that will benefit your society, your country, and your community. All right, that's it for our top trending stories. We'll go on a short break. We'll look at the weather, and when we return, we'll be reviewing the papers. So please stay with us.